as shown on this same page to the left, and just with the one service showing on this page, a bases service. Can you describe that, please, and the findings?
Sure. We actually only performed 2 tests on the liver, this being one of them on page 4 of 8. The lidocaine was detected at 0.45 micrograms per gram. And the units change because we're reporting out on a solid specimen. So rather than mils for volume, it's grams by weight because of the liver.
And was the liver tested for propofol?
Yes, it was.
Going to page 5 of your report, the uppermost specimen continuing the liver results. Can you describe the findings as it relates to propofol in the liver?
Yes, we detected 6.2 micrograms per gram, and it was conducted by the same analyst who did the propofol for the heart blood and femoral blood, Jamie Lintemuth.
And again, as you described with the lidocaine, this is in a measurement of grams because it's by weight.
Because the liver is a solid specimen, yes.
And going to the next line, you list medical evidence. It says medical evidence done. So those are results that we'll deal with later. But there was medical evidence tested in this case?
Yes, there was.
All right. Now, the next specimen is, do you see here indicated by stomach contents? That's the gastric contents you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
All right. And as far as the stomach contents, is it 2 tests that were done?
2 tests similar to the liver and the femoral.
Okay. Could you describe the results as far as the stomach contents, please?
Sure. We detected lidocaine in our basic drug screen and quantitated at 1.6 milligrams total drug, and that was performed by criminalist Fu, as well as propofol, again, and we found 0.13 milligrams, and that was performed by the same analyst, Lintemuth.
And again, can you explain that unit measurement as it differentiated from the other ones that were per mil?
Sure. Rather than report out a concentration, we do determine a concentration when we perform our analysis, but because we know the total volume or weight of the stomach when it's given to us, we actually do a multiplication and determine how much drug is still remaining in the stomach that has not been absorbed into the system yet. So that's what these numbers represent. It represents, lidocaine at 1.6 milligrams of drug that has not been absorbed into your system quite yet.
Thank you. Then proceeding with again, we're on page 5 of your report, the urine results. And the urine, again, as identified here, the urine results, since there are 2, which urine result do these identify?
On page 5 of 8, this urine result reflects an autopsy urine, whereas the urine results on page 7 of 8 has a urine asterisk, and actually the asterisk represents urine that was collected from the plastic bottle while at scene.
Okay. So let's begin then with the urine autopsy results. And if you can walk us through the first service listed being dipstick. What is that?
Dipstick is nothing more than, it's a simple test where it's almost like a pregnancy test where you're dipping something into the urine, and it's a yay or nay whether it turns a color or doesn't turn a color. And we're simply looking for, is there any type of glucose in that particular urine? And again, it lends itself to diabetic issues. And we're looking to see whether this particular decedent was spilling glucose into the urine. And in this case, it was negative. And an analyst named Joseph Muto, M-U-T-O, happened to perform that test.
All right. And the next service from the urine?
Yes. The rest of the services are very similar to the heart blood and hospital blood. Same type of drugs, acetaminophen or Tylenol, alcohol or ethanol, barbiturates, the lidocaine being present in the urine. Urine analysis is actually done, and it really represents a history. It just represents not only what somebody possibly could have done or used recently, but it also represents days ago use too. So it doesn't mean a whole lot interpretively with a urine result, other than, yes, the person used it one time.
So as far as a analytical tool, analyzing the urine from a toxicologist point of view is less valuable than the blood?
For interpretation purposes, yes. It gives a toxicologist an idea of what is in the system, but you need to evaluate what's going on in the blood, because the blood is what's affecting somebody immediately.
Okay. And the urine reflects what has essentially been, has gone through the body or the blood and has now been expelled from the body?
Yes.
Okay, following that, well, you've indicated, okay, then on this page 5 of 8, for the autopsy urine results as reflected on page 5 of 8, the only positive finding then was the presence of lidocaine conducted by Cumulus Fu?
Yes.
All right. Going on to page 6, which continues the autopsy urine results, beginning with the first service. Can you please describe that?
Again, the next two lines are more the benzodiazepines and how we looked at them. Midazolam being Versed, and it was detected at 6.8 nanograms per milliliter in the urine by a Robert Budd.
And the next, can you just walk us through these next grouping, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next 8 tests that all show none detected. Can you describe those briefly, please?
Sure. Zaloplan, which is your sleep aid, that was not detected. Cocaine and its metabolites, fentanyl, your eth-chlorovinyl, as well as your trichloroethanol, your marijuana, your carboxy THC, as well as your tetrahydrocannabinol, which is your THC. Amphetamine, the methamphetamine tests were all ND, but we did detect ephedrine as present in and amongst this service.
Okay, and this is a methamphetamine service for ephedrine, and it represents a unit finding of present.
Correct.
And going down then to the next methamphetamine service, describe that and the results, please.
Well, the methamphetamine was not detected by Oscar Pleites.
Okay. And the next then service, neutrals. What is depicted on that line and what are the findings?
Propofol. I personally did the test and detected propofol in the urine.
And was an additional test done to quantify propofol in the urine?
I don't believe so. I think it was merely just labeled out as present. No, I'm wrong. No, they both were quantitated.
Okay, so on the neutrals test service, propofol was present.
On this particular test, yes.
All right. And then the remaining findings as reflected on page 6 of your report as it relates to the autopsy urine. Following the result of present for propofol, can you describe the remaining results on this page?
Sure. I looked for all the different types of opiates, the codeine, the morphine, the hydrocodone, the hydromorphone, oxycodone, as well as PCP or phencyclidine. They were all not detected.
Going then to page 7. of your report, which continues with the autopsy urine, the first service listing propofol. Can you describe that and the results, please?
Previously described, I said neutrals found propofol. Primos quantitated the propofol when she was quantitating all the other specimens for propofol and detected it at 0.15 micrograms per milliliter.
And the last test as it relates to autopsy urine?
Salicylates, which is aspirin, was not detected.
Now, the jug of urine that was recovered from the scene by Alyssa Fleek, that was also tested?
Yes, it was.
And going to the next specimen then, where it indicates urine with an asterisk, as you had previously referenced, the asterisk following up at the bottom, referencing approximately 450 milliliters of urine collected from scene by investigator E. Fleek. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So going to then the urine recovered at scene, if you can describe again that you've already described the dipstick test. Is it the same test as reflected here with the urine recovered from scene?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and it was negative?
Correct.
And the next, if you could describe the next three specimen result and the results on the scene urine.
Okay. I mean, again, this urine is, we have basically performed the same type of analysis as the other urine as well as some of the heart blood. The results are acetaminophen, Tylenol was not detected, ethanol was not detected, barbiturates was not detected.
Okay, the next line being the first bases specimen for the scene urine.
Correct. It's the lidocaine, and again, it's reported out as present. And then we move on to Demerol, meperidine and normeperidine, not detected. Moving on to sertraline or Zoloft, as well as its metabolite, norsertraline, not detected. And then the last thing in the basis is the trazodone, and not detected as well.
Okay, and then going into the benzodiazepines, can you describe the results there?
We tested for alprazolam, which was not detected, as well as midazolam, the Versed, was found at 25 nanograms per milliliter.
And the next one?
Zaloplon was not found, and then of course the cocaine and the fentanyl was not found either.
Going then to the last page of your report. This is continuing with the urine from the scene, is that accurate?
Yes.
All right. And going then again from the first line, can you describe what was tested and the findings, please?
Sure. The marijuana and its metabolite, THC, as well as the carboxy-THC, was not detected. Methamphetamine as a service, both the methamphetamine and the amphetamine was not detected. The only thing detected was ephedrine in this scene urine. And then we get into all
the findings of the ephedrine?
Was present.
And then going to the opiates, please?
Looking for, again, all the pain meds, codeine, morphine, hydrocodone, hydromorphone, oxycodone. They were all not detected.
And can you walk us through each one, please? Which drug for the opiates?
I just did. Codeine, hydrocodone, hydromorphone, morphine, oxycodone.
Okay, and then we have a service of phencyclidine, the results of that?
PCP was not detected as well.
And the next one, propofol, the results for that, please.
The quantitative measurement was present in less than 0.10 micrograms per milliliter.
And again, this is the scene urine?
Correct, and it's performed by the same analyst at the same time in which all the other specimens were quantitated. And then the last test would be the salicylates or aspirin that was not detected in this scene urine.